Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Oh, I have a story. So when I was 22, I randomly moved to LA with no plan, no clue where I was going to live, nothing. I get down there and I ask one of my girlfriends if she wants to hang out. So while we're hanging out, we get to chatting and she goes, hey, why don't you just live with me in the model house for the summer? And I didn't know what that was at the time, but all it is a mansion in the hills where models get to live there rent-free, and in exchange, they just have to go to clubs twice a week and look cute. That's it. They Uber you there, you look cute, you stand around usually, and then you go home. And I got to live there for an entire summer because she sent her agent photos of me and my height, and I just got to live there. It was so much fun. I got to meet Ed Westwick from Gossip Girl, Chuck Bass. Oh, I have so many stories from that house.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
In high school, I never tied my own shoes. I just walked up to any male classmate of mine and lifted my foot up and they tied it for me. Every time I go to a gas station, I get asked on a date. My first time ever traveling alone on a plane, I got upgraded to first class. I get stuff for free. A lot. I'm not just talking about like extra free samples or people buying my online shopping carts. One time I was getting my phone upgraded and I really liked one of the phone cases, but I realized at the end of the day I couldn't afford it and the guy gave it to me for free. Along with the screensaver, both were well over $50 each. I have an influx of people in my DMs asking to be both my sugar daddy and sugar mommy. I have a Keurig in my room because I like hot chocolate, and I have a mini fridge in my room because I once complained about my little brother taking all my food to a stranger on Discord.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
So I lived in Miami for 2 months modeling. And for 2 months, me and the other models that I lived with would go out to dinners and lunches with these guys that we knew. And when I say going out to dinner, I mean the bill was like thousands of dollars. Not one of us paid, ever. Not for an appetizer, not for a drink, not for a meal, not for a freaking dessert. For 2 months. We never paid, but it gets so much better. We would spend like every single Sunday on other people's 3-story freaking mansion looking yachts. Private chefs making us food, free drinks, once again, of course. I literally have an app on my phone. No, sorry, 3 apps on my phone that can get me free food, free workout classes, free dental services. I can get my teeth cleaned for free. And to top it all off, we were all supposed to go to Coachella for free and stay in a mansion for free, obviously, basically live the week for free. We would literally email our agents asking to take us out to dinner. I'm out of time, but...
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Me and my 2 other friends went to a hibachi place. It's like low-key really expensive. And 2 guys that were across the hibachi table paid for all 3 of our meals without even telling us. Like, the waitress was like, the guy with the LA hat just paid for your whole meal. So I was like, nice!
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Fun fact, actually a really dystopian fact that is maybe supposed to be a secret, but whatever. There is this network of apps that are essentially beauty passes. So if you're a model or just like a pretty girl or an influencer, you can apply to get in. They're like exclusive, so not everyone gets accepted, but you apply to get in. And if you get in, there's a shit ton of businesses, restaurants, like massages, facials, lip injections, makeup, clothes, whatever, haircuts, everything, yoga classes, Pilates, everything that you can get for free just if you like tag them on an Instagram story. So if you follow models that post like Joe and the Juice and Pilates on their story every single day, they're not paying for that.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
So since this past March, whenever I'm outside and I'm walking down the street, people will cross the street to give me more space because I guess they think I'm like royalty or something. And sometimes guys will come up to me and say, "Hey sir, can you put on a mask?" Because I guess they want me to like cover up my beauty because they're kind of self-conscious. And I say, I mean, I would, but like I don't have a mask. Do you just carry a mask around? And then they often say, "Are you trying to get corona?" And I'm like, "Oh, sir, like, thank you very much for the offer, but I am 16. I cannot go out drinking with you, but thank you for the offer." And then they just, like, throw their hands up in the air and walk away. And I know it makes them sad, but, like, it's just my only option. And that's just what life is like when you have pretty privilege.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Sometimes when me and my friends are around a group of guys, they'll intentionally ignore me and only talk to my friends and pretend that I'm not there. And I think it's because they're too nervous to come talk to me because they think I'm cute.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
I'm not sure if this classifies as pretty privilege or passing privilege, but regardless, I want to tell the story, so here we go. I was in college and we had a group project and we were working on it at Panera Bread. So I showed up a little bit late to the group project and I'm looking for my group's table at Panera Bread. I can't find them, but this other group is hollering at me. It's these group of boys and they're like, hey, you're really pretty. My friend wants to get your number. I'm like, haha, thanks. And I go to find my group. Later on, this woman walks in and she is early on in her transition and they start visibly making fun of her. She's sitting over there, but they start making fun of her. So I walk over to them and I said, you see that girl that you're making fun of? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, isn't that so funny? And I'm just like, yeah, you know how you wanted my number? I'm a girl just like she is. They literally jaws dropped, didn't say shit for the rest of the time, and they were gagged. It was everything.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
This is really, really, really funny to me because my brother and me used to drink Starbucks every day. And there's this light skin at the Starbucks by our house. He noticed that we started going a lot. So he started giving me free Starbucks, bro. Free Starbucks. And he asked me for my name and stuff, and he gave my brother free Starbucks too. So when Chris and me started dating and we went through the same drive-thru and he saw us, he stopped giving me free Starbucks.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Where's my ring, bitch?
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have.
For the most part, you are constantly trying to prove your intelligence to everybody who automatically assumes you're very much unintelligent and treat you as such. Most females are very rude to you, so you have no friends. Pretty much all men automatically assume you're for the streets and have zero respect for you. They do not care at all what goes on in your brain. At all. Most people are pretty mean to you right off the bat because they assume you're going to be mean. And any single time that you're feeling insecure, you're looked at as fishing for compliments. But then whenever you're feeling confident, you're looked at as cocky and conceited. The men at the gas station do come through with a genuine ego boost sometimes, but then you're actually just fearing for your actual life. But maybe I'm missing something.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Okay, so I was taking physics my freshman or sophomore year of college, and I had a fucking 5%. Promise I'm smart. I just wasn't doing shit. Who the fuck needs physics? Okay, you need physics, but still, so I skipped one exam. I didn't do any of the homework assignments, so it was on me. So doing what any bitch would do, I went to his office hours, you know what I'm saying? And I was talking to him, whatever, and we were talking for a while. And this professor is known for hooking up with students. He literally, I know, He told me I could make up all the exams, even though you're not allowed to do that, at Panera. He was because his office was in front of Panera. He was just go to Panera, get a suit, and take the exam. I was all right. I don't know what the fuck came over me, but when I was finishing up my exam, on the bottom, I wrote, thank you so much for letting me do this. It would be so cool if I had an A in the class, though, winky face. I don't know why I did it, but I did it. I went from a 5% to a 95%. And everyone in my class was so mad. And I didn't have to suck dick.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
So I'm in my car right now, but basically there was this one time at Target where they were doing this. If you spend $50, you get $30 off. So I went to Target, I was oh shit, this is a good ass deal. I went to Target, I gathered all my stuff, ready to check out. And then, I was a self-checkout, by the way. And then when I scanned my code, they're it said code invalid. And then I called the worker. I was hey, why is this invalid? And he was oh, this code is not working anymore. And, it's gone. And I was oh shit, damn. And then he was wait, let me work something up for you. And I got the code. And on top of that, I only had to pay $4. Left the store paying $4. So basically, that guy gave me more than $30 off.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Growing up, I was always told a tattoo should have meanings. So stitch this and show me your most meaningless tattoo.
I like breakfast. A lot.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege. Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
All these silly girls on TikTok, they're so threatened by my beauty that they have to keep calling me an old woman and giving me so many views.
What's a piece of information that you learned that feels illegal to know?
If you have like 6 months to spare and you email IKEA and be like, hey, I think I'm missing a piece of this table set, slowly, one by one, piece by piece, month by month, you get that table for free.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Guys pay me so that they can text me. I have videos on how to do this on my account, but please don't do this if you're a minor. This is only 18+.